Hello. If anybody's out there, I put that video up last night and I was like, oh my god, did I make a mistake? Why did I put that video up? Why? But when I woke up this morning and saw that it was only like 7 people that viewed, I was like, okay, this is not going to be bad. I can do this. I can do this. Because the anxiety came from what are people going to think, and I'm emotional, vulnerable, and I didn't like that. So I'm happy and grateful that I can treat this as if it is true diaries of the journey of becoming a breatharian, and say what I have to say and not sugarcoat anything. And because a lot of people don't like, they don't like vulgar language, they don't like, people have so many stigmas, and I don't want to deal with people who have certain types of stigmas when it comes to what you want to fucking do. So I'm glad and grateful that it may be just a handful, because a lot of people are not too keen on the idea, like 90% of the world don't believe in breatharianism. So it brings a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of, old beliefs and old ideologies. People don't understand it. They don't understand the journey. So what I want to talk about today, and I'm so grateful that I could just be vulnerable and open up and not have to do any scripting and treat this as it's my diary, because I was going to do a blog, but I don't like typing. I shouldn't say hate. I just don't like typing. I don't like it. And I wanted to put it out there in the world and be like a little secret of mine, a venture that was going on, and I could talk openly and be candid and be very emotional. And the reason why I am emotional about it stems from my ego. It stems from my ego. And me being a spiritualist, I know that there are qualities of the ego that will keep you stuck. If you don't relinquish 90% of the ego, it's going to keep you trapped in a world that is going to force you into or keep you suffering. And that suffering that you do on this realm of reality is going to keep you suffering in the spiritual realm. When you die, you will continue to suffer if you are holding onto your ego and not able to relinquish it in every aspect of your life. So we need the little ego, not the big ego. So 90% of the ego needs to be dealt with, because it was developed and it grew inside of the matrix. And rightfully so, we needed it inside of the matrix. But once you get outside of the matrix, you need just a little bit of it to keep you afloat and to keep you in a state of balance as you are on your spiritual journey. So my ego is holding me here, and it's holding me hostage. I don't want to become a breatharian. I don't want to, but I know I have to. I have been battling with fasting on and off for 5 to 6 years now, and I still haven't relinquished the quench, or I haven't relinquished the thirst of wanting food, thinking about food, dreaming about food. Anytime I'm on a long fast, I can't wait to get off of the fast to get some food. It just doesn't make any sense. And I could be, strict fast don't mean anything to me. The last fast that I did, it was probably about 7 days of dry. 5 to 7 days. I was going to go for 10, but I passed out because I was doing too much. I overexerted myself, and I had too many toxins in my body. But I live and learn. But I'm used to dry fasting. I'm used to going without food. But the thing is, and the reason why I'm doing it for several reasons, it's because to heal my body. To heal my body. But the deeper reason And the reason why I have to go through this breatharian phase is to relinquish the addiction. I am addicted to food. No matter the 40-day water fast or damn near dry fast and water or liquids wasn't enough for me to relinquish the idea of having food. So the ego will keep you hostage. And my ego wants to cry about it. My ego wants to scream, pout, shout about this journey that I'm on. Because the ego doesn't want to do it. The ego wants to stay sad and depressed. I remember even during all of the fasts that I was on, I would always be sad that I had to go on them. And I knew that that was a stipulation of addiction. It stimulated, it was a stipulation. It derived from me being addicted. Why am I getting depressed over not having food? Why am I getting depressed and sad because I have to go on a fast? Why? The ego says because you've been 40 some odd years with food. You've been eating every day, dummy. We don't go without food. That's nonsense. Nobody's ever heard of that. Nobody goes without food. You will die after 3 days without water and food. The ego. So I get anxious. I get anxiety. And plus the fact that I love food. I'm crazy about food. I love food. The idea of me being without, I cried all last night. And I was in a daze. And I just couldn't believe it. That here I am about to embark on this journey. So from this point on, it's going to be like, I think I'm going to take maybe a month. And I'll explain why. But typically, individuals that are, that don't have health issues, or my issue is different, and I'll explain in another video as if anybody's listening, but it doesn't matter. So this is I'm documenting, and this is so beneficial. So the reason why I'm doing it and my issue with my colon is different. So I'm going to really jump into breatharianism. But if anybody is watching, what I do recommend you guys do, go through that process. If you are eating meat, processed foods, you're on a standard diet, you're gonna have to go through the process of vegetarian, veganism, raw food, and fruitarianism and liquidarian. You're gonna have to go through those processes. And then you go to water, dry fast, and breatharianism. So I'm going to talk about the process, my map as to how I'm going to get to breatharian, maybe in the next video. All right, thanks for watching.